Okay. Mm, I guess our usuals. Mm. Friends, so welcome to the AMA Ask Me Anything Financial Literacy Edition. Um, I'm excited to be here tonight at Laos Media Group with Fonte Laos. Shout out to Fonte for creating the platform, allowing me to be here on this platform. Tonight, we are talking financial literacy. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Katrice. I am a banker, a financial coach, real estate professional. I have 20 years in the financial industry, or probably over 20 years in the financial industry. And so I just think it's really important for us to sit down and have a conversation. A lot of times we're not aware of like finances or just how to maneuver through or navigate through some financial situations. So I've opened my inbox, my DMs for people to send questions about finances. And if you have questions tonight, drop your comments and I'll go back and I'll take a look at your comments. But tonight, we have some questions about home ownership. And so tonight we're talking home ownership and just going over like some information about the process. There is this myth or idea that we have it's the stigma that possibly it's hard or everyone can't own a home, and that's not true. You just have to put in your mind, set that goal, and then take the steps to make your goals happen. So I'm excited to be here tonight. Excited to dive in and talk about home ownership. That's our topic for the night. But if you have any questions about finances, drop your questions. And again, I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So, I did get a question about I want to buy a house, but I don't know where to start. You have that flyer for say. All right. So this is the AMA Ask Me Anything Q&A with Katrice, and this is our home buyers edition. So I had someone reach out to me, and they said, I want to buy a house, but I don't know where to start. All right, so first off, you want to start with your credit. Knowing what's on your credit report. A lot of times, people want to pay out debts, and with paying out debts, I mentioned this in a previous video, but when you pay out debt, so your credit is calculated, your score is calculated based on the largest thing that impacts your credit score is your payment history. So you of course want to make your payments on time. So you want to know what's on your credit report, right? And then the next thing is you want to take a look at your score because you want to know do you have any late payments in the past 12 months? Late payments account for 35% of your credit score. And then you also want to know like the items that are on your report. Some places will look at 7 years credit history, and then you have some lenders that only look at 2 years. So it's a good idea to research lenders, research and find out what the qualifications are. I always tell my clients, reach out, do your research on lenders, because if there are things that you don't necessarily have to address, if they're only looking at 7 years credit history or 2 years credit history, there's no need for you to. You can always go back and pay things that you owe, but in all actuality, nothing should be on your credit report beyond 7 years, but sometimes companies will sell your debt to a collection agency. And when they sell those debts off, basically what happens is the credit agency is paying them for your debts. So that allows that new credit agency to begin to report to the credit bureau. But you definitely want to know the items that's on your credit. That gives you an idea of what you need to work on. And if there are any things that you may need to pay down. So if you have debts, remember that utilization accounts for 30% of what's on your credit report. So with the utilization, you want to get that down low. It doesn't necessarily have to be 30%, but you definitely want to keep your debts low. Some mortgage lenders, again, do your research because different lenders look at different things. And so with lenders, you have some that will only allow about 30% debt to income ratio. And what debt to income ratio is, it's the amount of debts you have versus the income you have coming in. And so a lot of times lenders are looking at how much money you make and how much money you owe out. So some lenders will allow you to have about 36% debt to income ratio. So that means that your debt is 36% of the income, your monthly income. And then there are other lenders that will allow you to go to 40 and even 50%. So again, do your research because one lender that may allow you to have 30% or 36% debt to income ratio, there may be another lender that allows 50%. And then it puts you in a better position where you're able to get pre-approved for your mortgage. All right. So pay your debts down. You want to keep them low. It doesn't necessarily have to be at 30%, but definitely keep it low. 30% is a good mark, but you definitely can keep that low. All right. So next, Make sure that you're making your payments on time because all lenders, regardless of who you go to, they are going to check your payment history. They're checking for 12 months of on time payments. Um, if sometimes they will allow exceptions. So if you have had a late payment, some will allow a late payment within the past 6 months, and then others may require you to write a goodwill letter. And what that means is basically you write a letter about just telling them about your situation. If you had a hard time, if you had some medical issues, whatever the case is, you can write a goodwill letter to your lender, and they may make an exception on your late payments. So, check your credit. Know what's on your credit report. It's important to know. Sometimes we fear what the unknown. We fear what we don't know, right? But knowledge is power. So when you get your credit report, you know where you stand. Some lenders, their minimum credit score is a 580. And then of course there are some lenders that require you to have a 640 or a 620 credit score. Knowing your credit score, it empowers you. Knowing what's on your credit report allows you to know the things you need to address and if there are any things that you need to work on. So, next up, we mentioned the 12 months of on time payments. And like I said, lenders are looking at 12 months on time payments. They will possibly allow for an exception. If you have had a late payment within the past 6 months. But again, just reach out to lenders, do your research, because you have the power to make the choice of who you decide to work with. And that goes for lenders, that goes for real estate professionals. You have the power to decide who that you will work with in your home buying process. So research your lenders. If you see that they're looking at 7 years credit history and you know that you had a hard time 4 years ago, um, go somewhere else. Like find a lender that only looks at 2 years credit history. Self-help credit union is a credit union locally that their mortgage program looks at 2 years credit history. So if you've had a hard time or if you've been back on track for 2 years, that is a place that you can go to and apply for a mortgage. So yeah, so shout out to Self Help Credit Union. But yeah, so next up, you have the other slide, Fonte. Is it? It's So we have about the payment history. Also, so when you begin the process of buying a home, the steps to take. So first, you want to know what's on your credit report. The second thing you want to do is first, you can always reach out to a lender that gives you an idea of what they're looking for. But then once you take a look at your credit report, you can see whether, like, where you stand and if it's a good idea to apply now or if there are things that you need to work on before you apply for your pre approval. Once you apply for that, once you apply for the mortgage loan, that gives you an idea of what you qualify for. So if you're like me, like when I go out and look at houses, I love everything that's expensive, and so being pre-approved gives you an idea financially of like your financial capacity as far as your debt to income ratio and what really fits in your budget. So it's always a good idea to get pre-approved first. There is a difference in being pre-approved and pre-qualification. So a pre-qualification just basically it's saying, okay, I've been on my job for over a year. Um, they may do a soft credit pull, but the pre-approval process is when you really dive in, you supply documentation, and it puts you in right before your approval. So you're getting all your documents in so that when you do find a house, you don't have to provide those things, knowing that they check your credit. It's a soft credit pull when they do the pre-qualification. When you go through the actual approval process, they will do a hard credit pull. So it is so important. Like, put everything on pause. When you know that you're about to apply for a house, do not go buy a car, baby, because it's gonna impact your debt to income ratio. And buying a car before you close on a home loan could impact your ability to be a homeowner for your loan to go through. So as you're going through the process, once you get your pre-qualification, do not apply for new credit. No new credit cards, no new debts. Just maintain what you have. And then after you close on your loan, after you close on your home loan and get your keys, then if you want to get a new car, do that. But definitely no new credit right before you apply for a home loan. Um, Next up is, so we have the pre-qualification that lets you know like what you qualify for, and it also lets you know the price range to look for. And I would say right now the real estate market is pretty tough. Um, and it begins to get even tougher when it's more of a challenge when you do go through the process and you find your pre-approval, because then your home search is narrowed down by what it is you're looking for. So how many bedrooms, how many baths, square footage, all those things narrow your search down even more, because right now there aren't a lot of homes that's on the market, and homes are staying on the market a little longer now. So just be patient, but also be open, because a lot of times we want to find our forever homes, but just be patient, be realistic. For those of you that are selling homes, homes are sitting on the market a little longer now. So just keep that in mind. And also with pricing, it's a competitive market. So you a lot of times you have to offer like you have to be very like intentional about what you offer, because it is a tough market right now. So, Funte, do we have any questions so far, or we have anybody that has chimed in? Bro, what's up, Sonny Biggs? Work, Jackie, work. Yes, I'm working, brother. I'm here, putting that work in. Okay, so yeah, with that credit card usage, just make sure like you're not using all of your credit. Even let me say this, because I've helped people open a few secure credit cards recently. And so with your credit utilization, so either way, like whether it's a secure credit card or if it's an unsecured credit card, you want to keep even that. You want to keep your utilization down, but understanding that whenever you do secure credit cards through credit card companies, and a secure credit card is basically you put your money up front to have a credit card. And so a lot of companies will allow you to do like $250, whatever the amount, and they'll send you a credit card. Your money is used as collateral for that credit card. Still, same concept applies. So you don't want to max out your secure credit card, because it defeats the purpose of you using that as a way or means to build your credit. Because again, your utilization counts for 30% of your credit score. So as soon as you max out a credit card, um, as soon as you max it out, it begins to make your credit score go down. So definitely, even with secure credit cards, even though the concept is for you to build credit, you have to still use it responsibly, and you have to keep your utilization down even on a secure credit card. Anything else, Funte? Yes, Maurice. Yes, and I tuned in when Maurice was up with Biggs, and yeah, you shared some good information as well, brother. But yeah, so definitely know what's on your credit report. Fear can have us paralyzed, but knowing where you stand. So if you want to buy a home, if you want to buy a car, like whatever your financial goal is, the first step is empowerment, knowledge. Knowledge is power. So knowing where you stand, knowing what your credit score is, because it's never too late to start over. I have coached people that are young, that are just starting out, and I've coached older people who have never had experience with credit, but I've also coached people that have had challenging times, and I'm happy to see and say that I've seen many of my coaching clients get back on track. So just know it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to just change your habits about how you spend, how you're making your payments, and how you are managing your credit. That's it. All right. Well, I'm not going to be up here long. I won't prolong it. I will say that I will be offering a master class for financial literacy. I'm passionate about it. This is something I do on a daily basis. This is my profession. So you can always reach out to me on Facebook. I'll be back here on Laos Media Group for Ask Me Anything. But coming up the end of this month, I will be hosting a home ownership workshop where we can do a deep dive into the steps and the process to become a homeowner. They do have some first-time home buyer programs. Shout out to the city of Rocky Mount, because the city of Rocky Mount has down payment assistance up to, I want to say, $50,000 that goes towards your home. So if you found a home, that knocks $50,000 off the home price. So like, get these resources. Like, the funds are out there, they're available. If I'm not mistaken, they're still available. And that can be paired with other down payment assistance. So I know people that have actually gotten $100,000 in approval in down payment assistance. $100,000, y'all. Like, being a homeowner is very much it's a real thing. Like, you can do it. You just have to have the knowledge. If you have questions, do reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. I'll be happy to guide you through the process, whether it's as your realtor, your financial coach, your banker, whatever the case. Like, whatever capacity that I can serve, do reach out. Send me a message. We will be having a home ownership workshop the end of May. I will be posting that information. I also get a lot of questions about starting a business. So we will have a master class starting in June, where we go through the process. I am going step by step with each person to get your business up and running. So we are going to talk EIN. What do you need to start a business? What kind of business do you want to start? We're going to go through the process of getting your EIN number, registering your business with the Secretary of State. How do you start a business bank account? Starting business credit. So those are some things that we will address in June. Sign up for my masterclass. I'll also be posting that information as well. So, home ownership workshop, the end of May, and in June we'll start our business masterclass for you to start your businesses. I'm excited about your visions, and I'm excited to just be able to share the knowledge that I have with you all, to get you started and to continue to just push you all in the right direction of reaching your goals. Any more questions, Fonte, before I... That's it. All right. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you have questions, send them to my DM. You can post a comment under the video. Reach out. Home ownership workshop will be the end of May, and then our business ownership masterclass will be in June. So sign up. This is good information, and I'm like sharing a lot of years of experience and information. So definitely take advantage of that. I'm a business owner, multiple businesses, and so definitely can share some knowledge, wisdom, and guide you through the process of starting your business. Masterclass starts in June for business owners, and then home ownership workshop will be the end of May. I'll be dropping that information soon. So thank you for joining. Monday, join my brother Sonny Biggs for the Uncle Sonny Show. And on next Thursday, we have the community book club reading with none other than LaShawn Jenkins. Do join us. I'll send you the information, Miss Smith. I'll send it to you. Um, but yeah, so I'll reach out to you after this afternoon. I'll reach out to you about the class. Are you interested in the business class or home ownership? Probably the business class. Okay. But I'll reach out to you. So Monday at 8 o'clock here at Louds Media Group, join my brother Sonny Biggs for the Uncle Sonny Show every Monday at 8 here at Louds Media Group. Tap in. And then on Thursday, we have the community book club reading at Mo and D's, and it will be our guest for Thursday is none other than LaShawn Jenkins. So join us for the Mumbo Wings or whatever you like, but join us at Mo and D's next Thursday. Time is 6:30 at 6:30 to 8:30 at Mo and D's for the community book club reading with none other than the LaShawn Jenkins. Again, send me your questions. I will be posting the information about in May our home ownership workshop, and then in June we'll have our business owners masterclass. So I'll post that information soon. And then I'll reach out. I'll be answering your questions, going through my messages and getting back with you all about those questions. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting Her Story and Care Solution. Care Solution is my company where I just pour knowledge. So about credit, about finances and financial literacy, because we care. That is our logo, and it's because we care, and we want to empower you all with information and knowledge that pushes you to reach your full potential. So again, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Care Solution Company. We will see you soon. I will not be back next Thursday because we do have the community book club reading next Thursday, 6:30 to 8 at Mo and D's. So join us. LaShawn Jenkins will be our special guest. And remember to always tune in on Monday nights with my boy Sonny Biggs at 8 p.m.